Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in, man.
It is picked off by the line. Darius Slay's got it. Coming back right side 25. Picks up a block at the 30. Darius at the 40.
Drink it in, drink it in. Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in, man.
Rolls to the right. Stafford throws deep. Got a man out there. End zone. Caught. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Marvin Jones.
Drink it in, drink it in.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Cornbread.
Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in, man.
Detroit Koolaid, what is going on, everybody? Back in the house, talking Detroit Lions, right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Your boy Oakrey, at Derek Oakrey on Twitter. And you know I got Grifka here. Grifka, normally I just tee it up to you, but I had a question for you right off the top. What the hell was Eminem doing at the Oscars? How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. I don't know what Eminem was doing at the Oscars. I didn't happen to watch the Oscars that night, but I heard some of the people were like not impressed with him. You know, some people that were there, but not for sure what he was doing there.
Grifka, Eminem at the Oscars is weird enough. Then he sings a song from like 20 years ago, and then I'm sending this to you right now as we're recording. I'm forwarding you Jim Rome's take on the whole thing, and I guarantee you'll fall off your chair. It was incredible. All of his funny takeaways. I watched it too, and I laughed just at the live performance, let alone what Rome had to say. So I'm sending to you right now.
Okay.
Make sure you check this out after the show. So what else is going on, buddy? How are you?
Doing okay, man. This is like the they always say there's like dog days of the season. This is kind of like the dog days of like waiting for something major to happen. That's where we're at right now with the football season. So, you know, try to keep our minds on it as we're going into the draft. So let's hop into this show here, see what we got going on.
Grifka, before we get into our tops, we got a bunch of good topics. We're going to go not rapid fire, but we're going to work our way through a few things today and have a little bit of fun. But before we do that, sometimes I like to pull the curtain back. Grifka, isn't this normally when we get ready to start the show, you always tell me we got nothing to talk about, and then me and you usually fill up 45 minutes to an hour with Lions content, laughs, arguments, all that stuff. Isn't that usually what happens here about this time of year?
Yeah, it always seems like a struggle, and we're like, well, gosh, maybe we can make it work. And then before we know it, we've kind of ran a little long. And we're talking, should we chop some of that out? We're like, no, that was all good stuff. Leave it in there.
Yeah, man, the people like all the craziness that we bring here on the Koolaid Cast. So let's dive into it, man. And Grifka, there's no better way to get into the Koolaid Cast today than to ask you again. It's probably going to be a reoccurring topic on the show. Your boy Darius Slay, you shook his hand. You love this guy. You told me a week or so ago you're going to pay him $15 million over 4, 5, 6 seasons, whatever you told me. I laughed you out of the gym. I told you like I wasn't going to give him more than a couple-year deal. Now big play, as he likes to call himself, and I wouldn't mind a few more big plays from the guy, but he's definitely a good quality corner and a good football player. He's all over Twitter. He's responding to my buddy Logan Lamorandier directly. Jared Heatley, another guy I talk Lions with, he's sending him a message back. He's putting emoji faces. He's putting thumbs up. He's putting thumbs down. He's telling people he'll leave if they only pay him $15 million. I mean, it's getting crazy with big play Slay. Have you seen any of this? I'm curious on your thoughts, as well as you've already kind of set your bar. You're basically willing to pay this guy anything he wants. But we're gonna have to talk about him quite a bit. What's going on with your boy Slay over there?
Yeah, it's one of those things where he's just just speaking his mind, man. I mean, he's confident. He thinks he's the best corner in the game. I mean, that's a nice thing to have. Like you said, I wish he'd have a few more big plays, but we've discussed this before. Where
Sleeping on it.
They're not. They don't throw at him because the other cornerback has been, so much weaker than him. So, gosh, I mean, I like his confidence. I've seen some of it. I know he also put out there, that he would like to retire here in Detroit. I don't know if that means like he wants to go play somewhere else and just move back to Detroit and retire. I can't see him doing that, but he has that as well. But I like his confidence. I think I think me personally, I think he's the best player on that defense, and. I don't know. I don't know. Like he wants to get paid like the best corner in the game. I mean, he's my boy, but he's not the best corner in the game.
Grifka, that was my two next questions for you. One is you said he wants to get paid like the best player in the game. Now you're circling back to he's not the best corner in the game. One, does that make sense to you, and where would you put him on the pecking order? My second question is, why do you think people always say they like want to come back or they want to finish their career in Detroit, yet we can never get like top free agents, or everybody says we're not a destination city, yet everybody that's here seems to not only love it here, but say like, hey, they're going to have homes and come back, and I just don't get the difference. But answer both of those or all three if you can.
Okay. Top wise, I mean, not knowing him off, I'd call him probably. I mean, you might laugh me out of that. I think he's like definitely one of the top 5 cornerbacks in the game. I mean, for what he does. I mean, we talked about it. I mean, he does, kind of take away half the field, but that's simply because the other cornerback on the team isn't as good. But what?
I hate to stop you. Isn't that good? Give the people what they want.
What you want me to say? He's not that great.
The other corner's not that.
The other corner's not that great. I mean, Slay is, because he has
my gosh.
He's got my magic of the handshake. So guys, because of it. So I mean, he's probably top 5. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would trade him for. He's not Stephon Gilmore or anybody like that, but he's good. I mean, like you said, there's a few other ones out there. I mean, I personally like Xavier Rhodes up in Minnesota. I think he's another really good cornerback. I really, really like.
What was dirt? Grifka, let me jump in here. Wait, first of all, so you got him top 5. You got him top 5. Answer the question about why everybody loves Detroit, and then I want to jump into another thing with Slay. Killing me here.
What saying the like guys want to stay? I don't know if that's lip service or not. I think it's one of those things that kind of keep the fans on your side as you're here. Because, I mean, let's face it. I mean, if you're stuck in Detroit in December, or if you're in Miami in December, or, if you're in, I guess warm climate or some, one of the favorite teams. I mean, that's why, everybody likes to go to Green Bay. Plus, everybody knows Green Bay doesn't travel internationally, so you don't have to have a passport either. So, I mean, that's why. But, I mean, it is. I mean, it's, I see these things where, like, people, like, there's always these, like surveys, and like it always seems like Detroit's like one of the worst fan bases, which makes no sense to me. But it is. I mean, it's good fan base. I mean, they support their good players. I mean, we don't boo like whenever they touch the field like idiots in Philadelphia, but for some odd reason, Philadelphia's always like one of the top fan bases. It doesn't make any dang sense to me at all. It's like, oh, boo, you guys suck because you guys didn't get a first down on the first play. But I think that's why. I mean, I think it may be a little bit of lip service, but I think players like Matt Stafford have really, fallen in love with the city. And, the fans, even though there's the ones that run hot and cold on him, I think he realizes, really what's here. So that's what I kind of think about that.
All right, we got you, Griffin. You put me to bed with those answers, but okay. So, real quick on the Slay's money before we keep it moving. Like you had said, like 15 million, 60 some million overall. He's talking 17 isn't good enough. I mean, the numbers are getting out of whack. I just feel like there's no way you're gonna make this guy happy. I mean, the guys on the radio, I caught a little glimpse of somebody saying like, well, what if instead of 4 or 5 years in total, what if we just went 3 years? So basically 2 plus the one you have, bump him up to 50 total million. It works out to be 15 to 17 on average, whatever it is, and call it good. And then maybe you can get out on the back end before it gets too bad. I mean, gosh, to me, that's even a little rough based on the team they're trying to build and, what they're trying to do, not only at quarterback and other spots. But I just don't see a deal that really makes sense. I mean, I'd be happy if the guy will at least come and play this year and not hold out if we can't work anything out. I mean, but to me, it's not looking good, to be honest. I mean, we'll see what happens. So that's my take on his dollars and cents. I know I told you last time 15 was way too much. Then Slay comes out and says 17 is not enough. And then I said, give him some extra years, and 12 to, I think I said around 12, maybe even up to 13, 14 was all I was willing to go. So I still probably stick to that point. So Grifka, with that being said, I had to put it out on Twitter to the fans. I want to gauge where they're at. So I put out a poll. One Pride, Lions fans, what would you do with big play Slay? I said, pay the man, trade him, keep plus franchise him in 2021 or other. And right now, it's a runaway. 61% says pay the man. I mean, I guess they're fans of Grifka. Just pay him whatever he wants because, he's good. We got 20% that says trade him. That's probably where I would be right now is like if you can't get anything done and if you think he may hold out, you might as well deal him. He can have a couple good years in New England or Philly or, wherever else we always trade people. Denver, we trade with the same 5 teams all the time. And keep plus franchise at 15%. I mean, I think that would be ideal. Keep him this year, pay him what he's owed, franchise him. I think it's like 2 years, $23 million in total. That would be the best for the Lions. I think. Would Slay go for that? Or I think once you franchise him, then he's definitely out after that. And I'd be curious on the effort or maybe what he would do, in that realm. And then we got only 3% with others. So. That's kind of where the poll is at. Any thoughts on anything I said or the poll in general?
The biggest thing, like you said, what he's asking for, I don't know if anybody's going to give him that type of money. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, he wants to be paid as the best, but I mean, it's one of those things like get it out, know your role. I mean, dude, you're not the best. I mean, I think other GMs are going to realize that too. So. He's not the best, but I do like pay the man. I'm in that crowd. I'm definitely pay the man.
So Slay, if you ever hear this, Grifka says pay you. He shook your hand. He takes credit for all your success. Yet he also snuck in this.
Know your roles and shut your mouth because the people's champ is ready to talk.
That's Grifka that said that, not me. Just so you know. Grifka, one other thing I did is I put out on Twitter that anybody that either gave me a follow or said a positive, bold take on the Lions, I'd shout them out live here on the show. So, of course, I got to follow up with that as we get off to a hot start here on the show. Trevor Tyler, his bold take was Quinn and Patricia are doing this the right way and will still be the coach and GM 5 years from now with multiple playoff wins. Trevor Tyler, I'm going to give you a Twitter shout out as well. Get at him at Trevor Tyler 71. That was a classic Oakery Detroit Koolaid type take. Hey, Trevor.
Drink it in, man.
Thank you, buddy. Next one we've got from Jocko. He writes, Amani, give me the last name, Grifka. You can do it.
What? I mean, a warrior? Is that?
Not quite. I mean, we call him on the show A.O.
Oh, baby.
He says he's going to be a starter next year. I love that take as well. Next one I got, only had time for a few more here before we started recording. Bounce Back 2020, hashtag One Pride. You got to love that name. He said Deshaun Hand comes back and dominates. He says, I'm talking 11 sacks. Oh, man, that's a retweet right there. You can tweet at him or go give him a follow at the Lions fan 90. We've got Gandalf, the Honolulu Blue. He writes, Frank Ragnow will be all pro next year. Grifka, that was the guy you hated in the draft process. Now you love him. He's going to be an all pro. That means he will no longer be under your category called he's not that
not that great.
That's because all pro or Hall of Famers are the only people that are good to Grifka. And then we got one other one here.
Wait. They're great. I mean, I saw it on Twitter. Make sure there's between good and great. You're right. All pros, Hall of Famers, great. That's why they're deemed great. There you go.
Okay. Thanks for clearing that up, buddy. The last one I'm going to read off here is In Patricia We Trust. I mean, you can't beat that. Start to a Twitter handle. He writes back, the Lions finished 10-6, but he says they missed the playoffs, which almost made me unretweet this or unread this on the show. He says, but due to a tiebreaker and Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia returned for 2020, and this is what got him on the show and beyond. So I love that optimism. Definitely trying to get people to drink in that Detroit Kool-Aid as well as the other podcast I do on the Lions. You check out on Monday. Believe, that's spelled B-L-E-A-V. believe in Lions. So that's what we're trying to do this offseason, get this thing turned around. Those were a couple Twitters that I wanted to read. I told them I promised I would. Grifka, we talked about Slay. We got a poll out there. I think I'm ready for something different. Grifka, I got a little challenge for you right now.
Okay.
Grifka, you know, we've talked about it on the show before, that I am team Tori Petrie. I think she does a tremendous job, the greatest NFL sideline reporter in the league. Yet you continue to tout Kay Adams on this show, who has no affiliation to the Lions. Grifka, I'm going to put you on the spot right now. You have 2 minutes to make your case on why Kay Adams is better than Tori Petrie, and I'm going to drop some NFL Films music. When that runs out, you are done, sir. Do you think you can take this challenge or not?
Yeah, let's see. I can probably stammer on for 2 minutes about that.
You
beauty.
love you some Kay Adams, Grifka. You don't have to think about this, but you only got 3 seconds until you can do it. So 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm just gonna start it basic, man. She's my type of woman. I mean, she loves football. She's short, brunette. Gosh, she speaks Polish. I'm Polish. I mean, gosh. I mean, not to mention I don't want to say Tori Petrie's not bad, but she's not national like Kay Adams. Everybody knows who Kay Adams is. I mean, she can talk football with 3 great guys there on NFL Network. NFL mornings. Gosh, it's just. I would definitely trade, Tori Petrie for her in a second. So, there's not too much to say about that other than, I mean, she's the best.
Grifka, you got like a minute left. Grifka, did I or did I not send you a picture that came across my Twitter feed of Kay Adams at some type of Hollywood function in a gown? And I mean, you just couldn't get enough of this. I did you a favor doing that, didn't I, buddy?
Yeah, you did, and that was like I sent back the GIF of the Leonardo DiCaprio doing the slow clap. That's exactly what that was. That's like bravo. It's just
Grifka, we got more time, so I'm gonna butt in on your time. What does Kay Adams not annoy you on Good Morning Football? Like, I like her overall, but I mean, her takes sometimes are just, I don't know what to think about them. I mean, she just goes over the top, or some things I just don't like. Tori Petrie always spot on when she gives football takes. You gotta love it. She knows her lane.
Knows her lane. No, Kay Adams does not annoy me.
Oh, Grifka, you haven't made a very good case, and your time's about up. I mean, anything else to sway the people that Kay Adams is better than Tori Petrie?
I don't have to tout it. They already know it. I mean, that's like beating a dead horse right there. It's like, yeah, we got it. Yeah, we know. Duh. It's like common knowledge. That's all there's to it.
Grifka, do I have to make my case now for Tori Petrie?
Well, go ahead. You can make the case for the Florida Gator. I mean, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. That's just another Florida Gator you like. I'm sorry. You just add to the list.
Okay. Hey, Grifka, don't interrupt this right now. This is important to me. This is for all the people out there that knows that Tori Petrie is the best. In 3, 2, 1. Grifka, you go on and on about Kay Adams. She's on a national show. She's on Good Morning Football. You know what Tori Petrie does, Grifka? She works her way up from the bottom of the rung. She's from Florida. She went to University of Florida, TV reporter, up and down the ladder to bust her butt, hard work. That obviously something I respect, unlike yourself. Hard work. She works her way up. She gets this job with the Lions, and she just kills it. She comes here. She's on top of every little detail. She's putting out all these different videos. She's meeting with the fans, all this different stuff. I mean, like I say, hard work. When I said stay in your lane, it's because she always knows that people want Lions content. She's getting interviews with coaches, doing all this stuff. She has taken, I know you remember Killer Kowalski, unfortunately, R.I.P., the killer, but he used to be on the beat, and when the Lions didn't put up any media of any sort. Every once in a while, you get a little blurb from Killer, or maybe some type of audio clip. That's it. Tori Petrie comes in. She's giving the fans what they want. She's super nice to everybody. Doesn't take herself too seriously. You don't see her too much on social media. She just wants this team to win, loves football. incredible part of the community. I don't see her trying to be on ESPN or trying to go to some bigger team. She's just here repping and working hard for Detroit. So, like, Tori Petrie's the obvious answer. Kay Adams, you're not bad, but you're just not Tori Petrie. I'm sorry. She's incredible. So happy she's here. She's one of the MVPs. I mean, she puts 20 men to shame. There you go. I mean, the people know. Like, she has the beautiful smile, hard worker, loves the Lions. I mean, what else do you want? Oh, I know what you want. Somebody from New York City that thinks she's, top of the world. Come on now.
No, actually, I think Kay Adams is from Chicago. She just works in New
Well,
York
you know
City.
what I mean. She's there now, and all she talks about is Lower Manhattan and all this other BS. Like, she doesn't rep home like now Tori Petrie probably calls Detroit home. Come on now.
I mean, no, she talks about Chicago an awful lot, though.
And that's a fun. She's a New Yorker now and too stuck up for you and for everybody else. Tori Petrie's down to earth, super fun, super nice, and with her tail off. So there you go.
I haven't had a chance to shake Tori Petrie's hand, and so I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, well, I doubt you're ever going to get close enough to Kay Adams as well, because I think she has a restraining order against you. But like you say, we'll have to put that out on Twitter, see what the people think. I think it may be a close race, to be honest, between Tori Petrie and Kay Adams. But like I said, I give the nod to the local product, the hard worker, the beautiful smile, the person that puts out all the content for what? Our Detroit Lions, so we can do this, Grifka.
Drink it in, man.
All right. Again, I smoked you in another debate. That's not surprising to anybody. Before we get to our break for our sponsors, Grifka, I want your thoughts on the Combine. It's about 2 weeks away. You know what the Combine is, right?
Yeah.
Can you spell Combine?
Let's see. It's let's see.
You know where it's held?
Yeah, it's in Indianapolis, and I mean, it's a meat locker is all it is. Take your shirt off. Let's get a photo of you. Turn around. Bench some stuff, go run a little bit. Can you catch a football? Yeah, let's see how high you can jump. Yeah, I know what the Combine is.
Oh, Grifka, do you put stock in the Combine? I think I can tell by your sarcastic, non-enthusiastic answer that, again, like, we'll wake you up the day before the draft and see if you don't have a function or know what you're talking about. But the Combine's a super important event for people like me and people that are putting in that hard work, putting in that study on these players. It's not some, measurements and that's it. Like, you can glean a lot from it if you would, watch and pay attention.
Pretty much like the Combine, there's they do all those drills and they're like, oh, can you throw it in the turkey hole, and how fast can you run, and things like that. But it's just all it's like the passing plays. No, it's just like 7-on-7 almost, because like there's no pass rush. You're not really reading anything. It's just like, okay, go do this. The same thing as their pro days when they have them at school. It's just like, 40-yard dash. I got it. How fast can you run in a 40? Pretty much the one I like the most. I think the most effective for football would probably be like the shuttle drill. I mean, that's your quick, your quick twitch, change of motion. The only time somebody's running 40 yards is if you've broken through the pack in sprinting, or you're trying to chase down said person who broke through the pack. So, a straight 40 yards is like, and like they always say, I mean, it's the first 10 yards that matter the most. So, yeah, do I put a whole lot of stock in it? No, because guys just leave college to go train for that stuff so they can do really well on those drills and get high drafted, Adam Marcelletta, and then just kind of suck in the pros. So, no, I don't put a crap ton of stock in it. Once again, I mean, I'll defer to you, and like, you can go check the tape and watch the tape. I mean, you're going to learn a hell of a lot more about a player than, some guy running in a t-shirt and shorts with a number of like LB473 and running 40-yard dash. So, yeah.
Grifka, it sounds like you're telling the people that the Combine to you is not that.
It's not that great.
Grifka, like, again, the main reason I asked the question is I thought you'd give that type of answer. Like, it shows that you still have no comprehension that, yes, size, speed, ability. I mean, you said the shuttle drill is your favorite. When's the last time you saw a shuttle drill occur during a football game? Just curious.
That's quick change of motion there, man. I mean, I don't know the last time you actually watched a football game where somebody actually had to like do a jump cut, like try to like break away from like a block. That's all like quick feet and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a little more important. That's like, hey, big fat overgrown linemen run 40 yards. I mean, by the way, let me flip over the was it the sand, yeah, there we go. Or go get the freaking, was it I don't know, some other way, like a clock with a calendar or something like that. I mean, God,
it's not a strongman competition. They're not playing buses, or you said flip over the sand. Like, Griffith, this is why I don't ask you the open-ended, because I know I'm not going to get a quick retort, or you're going to go into some comedy bit that you made up. But like, I was asking about the shuttle as a joke, because you said all the other drills aren't important. I don't know, like the throwing, the catching, the speed element, the the blocking drills that you see to see if people are low, if they can run their hips through a block. Yeah, none of that's relevant to football. Vertical leap for receivers, none of that matters, right?
Yeah, because I know wide receivers are standing flat foot, getting down, jumping straight up as high as they can. Yeah, because I see that type of play all the time in football, where a wide receiver is just standing next to the sideline, and he totally extends out to see how high he can get, which bar he can touch. That happens an awful lot. That happens all the time. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's not an event to like mimic the game. It's the tech.
That's why I said guys can go train for that and improve, and they get overdrafted because like that's all they did was go and do that. They even say that there's guys out there that said like those drills don't even like matter in football, but for some odd reason they're like, oh, this isn't. We need to have them do this, or we need to have them do this. We need to have you're standing broad jump, because I always see two guys, standing there with their feet together and see how far they can jump, without moving at all. Well, that shows like leg strength and stuff like that. Yeah, because that happens a lot too. So, yeah, okay. They're just a bunch of drills to make guys go, drool over other guys. Look how fast he is. Can he catch though? Nobody's fast. So, okay.
Oh my goodness, people! I just don't even know what to do anymore. Grifka doesn't realize that a bunch of interviews with GMs happen, probably one of the most important parts of the process at the combine. But he just blow it off for a function or to go out to the old park on the seesaw instead. Like, this is part of the process, Grifka. You're getting athletic testing. Yeah, you're getting to see them in the meat locker, as you said. Yeah, do you want a big old sloppy, running back or a wide receiver that's now rocked up, or a defensive end that looks like he's just been eating Doritos all day? No, you want these guys to be tuned up. You want to see their height. Quarterbacks, all their measurables are important. You want to see how these guys process. You also want to see, how high can they jump? How fast can they run? All those things are important because, okay, yeah, you're not standing with 2 feet and just jumping straight up in the air per se. But yeah, you're going to use that skill when you're going up to get a deep ball, when you're trying to block an offensive lineman. They want to see your technique, your ability to square up. They want to see an offensive tackle. How quick can he get back and get in his pass sets look good, or is he just clumsy? Can you flip him from one side to the other? Like, all that stuff comes into play. So me as a person watching, am I going to get all that? No, but to Bob Quinn, Matt Patricia, and all those people, it's super important. And for me, trying to figure this stuff out, yeah, it's another big piece of the puzzle. Am I moving people way up the draft board because of the combine? No, but am I blowing it off and acting like it's nothing like you? No, because it's important to not only be athletic, but to know all these traits, so then you can measure them up one guy against the next. It may come down to speed. It may come down to something you saw visually. Hey, man, that guy just looked like a smooth athlete. You may give him a tick above somebody else, not because you watched him for 3 plays on your lazy boy. That's not what makes or breaks it. But the combine's another piece for putting together that draft profile, especially looking at some of these guys that we have targeted and seeing if you think they handle the combine well, or if they just impress in the testing. Yeah, I'm gonna rate them as such, just like I did last year with DK Metcalf, when you gave me the same garbage about, oh, he's fast and he's big, and then he goes out and gets put in a great situation. Why? From a team that probably saw all his big measurables and said, hey, we could use that. We can use a guy that can run fast, jump high, and explode past people. Yeah, we'll take him in Seattle, put him in a place to succeed. And what does he do? He has a good year. And there's plenty of other examples like that. So I'm looking forward to the combine. I'm going to get my draft board set right around then and sort of, get an eye on a lot of these players that, again, we joke a lot about it, but yeah, I'm not sitting there watching, Missouri football games, but I'll get an eye on some of these Missouri prospects or other teams that are out there that I haven't seen, and that's going to be important when I'm just absolutely running circles around you in the draft process. So go ahead, Grifka, take another day off when the combine is on. Go out and do whatever it is that you do. I will be putting in those hours trying to figure this whole thing out. And then I'll let you know who's good, and you can replicate it. You can repeat it and say, I told you so. That's how we do it here on the show.
You're damn right, because I got better things to do than to sit there and watch a bunch of 21, 22-year-old guys run around in shorts and T-shirts. So, yep.
All right. Like functions?
You damn straight.
All right. Well, everybody, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to get Grifka's thoughts on all these trade rumors that are swirling about the Detroit Lions. And I also got a take on Matt Patricia as well. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. Everybody back in the house. I can't wait to get Grifka's response on this. So we are still, what are we in? Like, it's early February here. The draft is at the end of April, basically, towards the end of April. So we got a two months plus to go. There is all types of trade rumors swirling about the Detroit Lions. Everybody thought the draft trade started at number 3. Now you're hearing that, the Washington Redskins are maybe looking to trade out of 2. And we all know that would probably put Chase Young on the opposite side of Trey Flowers, which would be probably my dream. Grifka, of course, thinks he's, not that great.
Not that great.
Because he
He's
didn't show up
overrated.
in a couple football games. Yeah, of course. Hold on, Grifka. I'm teeing you up here. So we got that rumor out there. We got the rumor about Matt Stafford possibly getting traded. We got rumors about the Lions trading out with the Chargers, the Miami Dolphins, the Oakland Raiders, and quite a few other teams. You've heard all these things. We're way far away from when it all needs to be said and done. But give me your thoughts on your best case scenario, maybe the thing you're rooting for. And then I also want to hear right now what you think will happen when we get to the end of April there and come draft day 1, pick number 3.
Well, I heard that same rumor about Washington, looking to trade out too. And I think for that to happen, they're going to have to get like a king's ransom for that to happen, because I think they're stuck on Chase Young. I really think they are. And yeah, of course you're going to listen if somebody's going to go, and give you, the world for it. If, nobody's going to do the old Mike Ditka, we're going to trade our whole draft for Ricky Williams thing. But if somebody's willing to pay you a lot, you would do that. But I don't think that's going to happen. So the one I can really see right now is the Miami Dolphins. Because once again, with that report that just came out, once again, that Tua's leg, he's full range of motion. He's completely healed. I mean, if other teams fall in love with Tua as well, and the rumor is right now is that Miami is like really, 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 really high on him, then even if that's out there right now, they're probably going to have to go up to Detroit and do that. And I think they might pay a little more to do that. I mean, with the multiple first-round picks, they're able to do that. I don't think the Las Vegas Raiders want Tua, but I think they may be a little more shrewd with their draft picks. I think they're not just going to like dump a couple of them just to move up to go get Tua or somebody like that. So the Miami Dolphins would be the one that I would really, really like right now. I don't see them trading, Matt Stafford for any draft pick or anything like that. We can talk about that later based on where the coach and the GM is right now. But the Miami Dolphins one is the one I would really be hoping for, because I think even if they trade back a couple spots, I still think they would be in line for somebody like, Okuda, to still get him at number 5.
So all the Detroit Kool-Aid drinkers out there, this is another reason I asked this question, because I figured that'd probably be Grifka's answer, and my answer is the complete opposite, because I don't want to trade with the Miami Dolphins because they're at number 5, and moving down a couple spots, to me is not good enough. Even if we got another, even their late first round pick, you're picking at the end of the first round. I would much rather get a deal done with Oakland where 2 middle of the round picks, not too far apart. It really lets you set up your team in regards to, that middle of the first round to me is the sweet spot, not only for kind of player value, but more so, you're saving on contracts. You're also not pigeonholed into taking somebody like you would in the top 5, where it only has to be these certain couple players. Your doors are much more wide open. And like I said, at 12, and I think they're at 18 or 19, one of those two. So you get both of those picks and get out of that 3 pick. To me, that's ideal. And the other scenario is trade with Carolina. Again, Grifka only wants to move down a couple and see what he can get. I want to move down as far as I can. So if I can trade with Carolina at 7, as well as I think they have a lot of second, third rounders, I'd much rather do that than just move back a couple, still pick up, everybody's favorite player. I mean, I've grown to say, like, I'm fine with Okudah being the pick, but I also would totally move off that, go get myself an edge rusher, go get myself another big nasty football player, whether it be in the at safety or somewhere other, and then in the second round come back and get myself a corner there, because I think there's going to be a couple great ones in the second round, as there always is, a couple press corners, a couple man. So in my ideal scenario, 2 first rounders or 1 first rounder farther down, as well as some second, third rounders, even some future picks is what I would go for, rather than the more simple Miami trade, unless Miami's willing to give up, their middle first rounder and 5 to just go up a couple spots. That's stealing. I think basically anything to go down a couple spots is just like, all right, whatever. If nothing else works, we'll just slide back 2 and take whatever you're willing to give us, basically. But like I say, we're a little bit on opposite sides of the fence there, but I say go back as far as you can, accumulate as much as you can, but also 2 middle first rounders would be ideal. Come on, John Gruden. Come on, Mike Mayock. Like, you want Tua in Las Vegas, and to me, Tua, in Miami he fits, but I could definitely see somebody coming up to get him at 2, and then for me it's just like, great, just everybody's like, well, then we wouldn't get the trade down. Yeah, but then we're basically guaranteed Chase Young. You just run the card up to the podium. You put those 2 big beasts on each edge. We got a young, hungry defense. You keep our quarterback intact, and let's roll. Let's do this thing. So that's my take right now here in early February when it comes to what may happen on draft day. I think we're either going to get Chase Young, or I think there is going to be a trade back. I couldn't tell you right now with who, but I think definitely we would move back if we can't get Chase Young. Grifka, I got one other thing for you. This is what gets me hot here on the show. Grifka, you frustrate me. We get in arguments. We see things totally differently on the show. So I want to end the show, which I've talked about before. I did a whole bonus show about this, and I've talked about it, but I'm talking about it again. You know why? Because it came out on Lions.com that Matt Patricia, they unleashed the whole full version of him mic'd up at the Senior Bowl. And like, I asked you real quick before we went live, did you see this? Of course you said no. So I went back through my text after I sent you the Jim Rome copy. Yeah, I sent this to you last week, right when I saw it, kind of saying, hey, this would be good to talk about on the show, or maybe you should watch this. You didn't watch it. Probably at a function, probably something better to do, I'm sure. That's the people know you're a busy man. Everybody out there, if you haven't seen this, go on YouTube, go to the Lions app, wherever you got to go to watch this. It's probably 4 or 5 minutes long. It's Matt Patricia unleashed. He's mic'd up. He's joking with players. He's pushing these players. The players love him. They're giving him the Gatorade bath after the win. To me, this is the coach we want. We don't want the coach that's all buttoned up on the sideline. We don't want the coach that stands up at the podium and bores us to death every day. You can still protect your team, and you can still, do the type of things he wants to do from a strategical perspective, and still have this type of personality. And to me, it's not even just personality. It's grit. It's intensity. It's just a fervor to win, and just I think one of the players that was complaining called it Matt Patricia being the alpha. Like, you watch this video and you can see it, he's the alpha male out there. He's just a downright nasty football coach, smart as a whip, and wants to get these guys rolling. So I think you watch this and all these things go out the window about these people that think he has no idea what he's doing, and he doesn't know how to motivate, and he's not a good recruiter, and he can't, get the best out of his players. Grifka, if you can spare 4 to 5 minutes of your precious time, you watch this, I think you'll have a totally different impression about him too. I know you haven't watched it, but I just gave you the big sell job. Are you going to watch this and you see where I'm coming from, that if you can see another side of this guy, that's what Detroit wants?
Yeah, I mean, I'll watch it. I mean, since you hyped hyped it so much. I'll give it a view, but I guess it all depends on what type of coach you're looking for. I mean, are you looking for, like you said, maybe that's what Detroit needed because as you said it, you got tired of the Caldwell Country Club, so kind of I don't want to say the players run the team, and maybe that's what they wanted. They wanted somebody to shake the cages and stuff like that to get stuff going, and that's the type of guy Matt Pat is. So.
Griff, are you not intrigued by the behind the scenes? Because like one thing that doesn't totally excite me with the NFL is like I don't think I'd really get excited to sit down and go through the playbook, go through the X's and O's. Some of the coaches, most of the coaches, and some players, all they talk about is tape and this and that. Like if somebody goes up and draws something up on a whiteboard, it doesn't get me fired up. But when I get people mic'd up, or I see the behind the scenes of how they acquire players and what the draft board looks like, and hear the unfiltered things, even like the shows you'll see after a Sunday where they give you kind of the NFL Films version. It's mic'd up. You can hear the talk between the coaches and players. We're not going to get into it today. We may do a future episode about it. Like the XFL debuted, and that was my favorite thing. Like everybody was mic'd up. I could hear the play calls coming from the sideline. I could hear, players talking to players, quarterbacks, giving their calls. It was so intriguing to me. So that's why I pump this up so much and tell people to watch this, because the behind the scenes of the NFL, how it works, as well as the interactions, intrigue me the most. It's like seeing behind the scenes of a great movie or, something like that, the movie was good, but I want to see sort of not only how it was made, but all the different takes and who, how the people were offset and all that type of stuff. Like that's what interests me really. And when we get those behind the scenes looks in the NFL, which are sometimes few and far between, I just think it's incredible TV. And like I say, you get to hear our defensive coordinator, you get to see Bevel mic'd up on this thing. I mean, to me, it was just, I think I put it out right after. I just said, if you don't get fired up watching this, like, I don't know what to tell you if you're a Lions fan, because that kind of stuff here in the offseason is just like, man, if he can just carry over that mojo and carry over that type of oomph that he had and that type of gusto or whatever you want to call it. Like, I was just like, man, this is the guy that I bet is behind the scenes, but out in front, we just don't get it. And I'm hoping in 2020 we get it. And I think it comes with winning, and it comes with a sense of comfort. I think he's finally getting to that comfort level with the organization, as well as just this sense of, hey, I got my team, I got my players, I'm comfortable. It's my third year as a head coach. And once we start winning ball games, I think you'll see some of this moxie come out, as well as the guy when they win that'll say, hey, it's all the players. I love my players. It's going to be some of the same, but a little bit more moxie behind it. And I think Detroit would just eat that up and just love this guy. We'll watch it, and then on air or off, we'll talk about it, because this is the guy I think that you and others want. And since you haven't got him, you're ready to quit on the guy. And this is the guy that I keep thinking is there and just waiting for the W's to get behind him.
So, quick question then. Would you want to see the Lions on Hard Knocks? I know we talked about this early last year. So, was that... I mean, it's kind of behind the scenes what you're talking about, but I know you were against it. But I mean, would you like to see it now?
Yeah, I mean, my take exactly was you wanted it because you're a fan, and I didn't want it because the Lions don't want it, and it was too early in the process. I mean, I would love to see it just for all the reasons I just laid out, but no, I still don't think, especially coming off the season, unless we kill the free agency and the draft process and just have this crazy, young, hungry, nasty team. I mean, if that's the case, sure, bring the cameras and watch them get to work. But if they're still kind of trying to tweak some things and build some things and maybe make some off-season moves, I just think strategically it's better to keep them away. But hey, man, Matt Patricia was the star of the Senior Bowl, and if he could do that on Hard Knocks, it may do a lot for our organization as a whole, and maybe get him going even more. Just more ready to fire when the cameras roll and when he's mic'd up and when he knows the whole world is watching. Because, I mean, like you say, I think he was just being himself. But once the cameras and the mics were on him, I just think it's a whole different view than we get when we never hear or see anything from Allen Park, So, yeah, I mean, I would want it. We'll see. I don't see it happening. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are up for it this year. And Grifka, you know what? They're one of the favorite teams, just like who else might those be?
Oh gosh, the New England Patriots, the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Giants, and the never have to leave the country Green Bay Packers.
Thank you, sir. That's what I was looking for. Grifka, we talked about a ton today. Big play Slay. We talked about some Twitter polls, the Torrey Petrie versus Kay Adams debate, which of course he smoked you. The combine talk, which you poo-pooed, one of your favorite words. I mean, I think it's important. We talked draft trades, and we finished up Matt Patricia mic'd up, uncensored. That's the coach we want. We'll see if we get him in 2020. Grifka, do you have anything else for the people?
Nope.
Thank you, sir. Everybody, hit us up on Twitter at Derek Oakery, or send something to Grifka and bug him all day long at Grifka DKC. We love interacting with the fans. We love your questions. If you can ever get them to us over the weekend, early on in the week, we try to get them on the show, no doubt about it. And we'll definitely try to get your calls in, too, if you want to call in 989-272-3484. Everybody, reach out. Leave us a funny message. We'll definitely get you on the show. I know we haven't been using that very much. We haven't been promoting it, but 989-272. Kevin Smith, that's number 34 if you don't know. Herman Moore, that's a throwback to Grifka's era, number 84. You can hit us up. We'd love to get you on the show. So for everybody, take care. We'll catch you back right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast this Friday. We're again one of the hardest working podcasts out there. We'll be talking Lions football. So check you then, everybody. Take care. We're out.
Drink it in, man.
Pack the bags, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions.
Drink it in, man.